Toys R Us kid. They got a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with. I don't want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid. They got the best for so much less. You really flip your lid. From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is.
Gee whiz!
I don't want to grow up, 'cause baby, if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. More games, more toys. Oh boy, I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
Hi, my name's TJ, and I'm going to take you through the history, the rise, and the fall of Toys R Us, the iconic toy giant. The history of Toys R Us can be traced back to October 4th, 1923, when the founder, Charles P. Lazarus, was born in Washington, D.C. He was born to a bike store owner, and from a young age, Lazarus worked with his father and helped him fix bicycles and help with store operations. What he dreamed of was to open a store of his own. In February of 1948, the then 25-year-old Charles Lazarus turned dream into reality. He opened a baby furniture store called Children's Bargain Town in D.C. It was made to cater to the post-war baby boom, and he filled his store with baby furniture and ran it by himself, including delivering merchandise and finances. The store idea was probably inspired by his uncle, who was in the same business. After 2 years, Lazarus started adding toys to his store. He figured out that toys would go out of fashion with the kids, and he knew that this would create return business. As the demand for toys grew, the store's merchandise also grew. In June of 1957, Lazarus saw the success that self-service supermarkets had, and turned the idea into one that catered to kids and toys. He followed the supermarket format and allowed customers to serve themselves and use carts to shop. He called the store Toys R Us, with the R being backwards to give the idea that a child wrote it. It would be about 10 years before the creation of one of our favorite cartoon characters and mascots, Geoffrey. Geoffrey was a lifelike version of the original Dr. G. Raff and was named by a Toys R Us sales associate. Geoffrey gained a lot of popularity and even had a product line in the stores. By 1973, Geoffrey had become a celebrity and was featured in a commercial for the first time.
Hey, you Toys R Us kids!
There's a new store in town.
Geoffrey!
Your favorite stars will be there. Hurry up, come on down.
Geoffrey, who are we going to see when we get to Toys R Us?
Me, of course. One of the adorable Pound Puppies, Huggins from the Hug-A-Bunch, your brand new friend Robot Man, and one of the incredible Transformers.
Wow!
It's the world's biggest toy store. Let's go!
By 1975, Geoffrey had a family. He had a wife, Gigi, and a son and daughter named Junior and Baby G.
Fireplaces glowing, icicles growing, hearts overflowing with cheer. It's that wonderful season we all find so pleasing, the Toys R Us time of year. The world's biggest toy stores, Toys R Us. The biggest selection, Toys R Us. It's a Toys R Us time of year. Toys R Us.
In 1978, Toys R Us had become a toy conglomerate and became a public company, with loyal customers all over the United States. 5 years later, in 1983, Kids R Us was introduced. Kids R Us was a brand for children's clothing and opened their first stores in Paramus, New Jersey and Brooklyn, New York. A year later, Toys R Us opened their first international stores, one in Canada and one in Singapore. In 1990, Lazarus was inducted into the Toy Industry Association Hall of Fame for success in revolutionizing toy and baby product industries and for making Toys R Us an iconic brand worldwide. In 1992, Japan had its first store, and 2 years later, Lazarus stepped down as chairman and CEO. He still remained on a board and in 1995 earned the Gold Medal Award from the National Retail Federation, which was their highest honor. In 1996, Babies R Us was born, launching in Westbury, New York. 2 years after that, Toys R Us got into the online world with the launch of ToysRUs.com, and Robert Nakasone was appointed CEO. September 1999 saw Geoffrey be reimagined as a kid, and his family seemingly disappeared. His image as a kid was supposed to personify with the kids that they were marketing to, and to make him a mascot, not a promoter. Just 2 years later, in 2001, Geoffrey got reimagined again as a realistic giraffe that could talk, and was originally voiced by Jim Hanks, brother of Tom Hanks.
Geoffrey, are you sure about this?
Are you kidding? We're launching our biggest season ever with great low prices and more selection than anyone. And I want everyone to know about it.
I know, but your head's too close to the helium.
Ladies and
gentlemen, I have a very important announcement.
It's your one-stop toy shop with more savings than ever, like buy one, get one free on all games from Hasbro, Milton Bradley, and Parker Brothers, or all Barbie fashion dolls priced $19.99 or less. This week only at Toys R Us.
Hey, I can see my house from here.
This was also the year that Toys R Us opened their flagship store in New York City Times Square, complete with a 60-foot Ferris wheel, a 20-foot T-Rex, a life-size dollhouse, and a New York City skyline made entirely of Lego bricks. The store closed in December of 2015. In 2003, all freestanding Kids R Us stores were closed, but the company continued to sell clothes and apparel. In 2004, they conducted a review of the company, and in 2005, Toys R Us Inc. went private, and an investment group completed their acquisition of Toys R Us for $6.6 billion. 1 year later, Gerard Storch became CEO and chairman of the company, and Toys R Us opened their first side-by-side stores, including Babies R Us and Toys R Us in one store or next to each other. In 2007, Toys R Us opened their first express pop-up stores in shopping malls and shopping centers for holiday seasons, and they also bought eToys.com and Toys.com. In the same year, the logo and Geoffrey took on another change, with Geoffrey becoming a cartoon again and having stars on him instead of spots to represent the magic of Toys R Us. They also acquired Fao Schwarz, one of the oldest toy companies in America. In 2010, outlet stores were permanently opened as a smaller version of the large stores, and a permanent version of the express stores. They also launched their buy online, pick up in store program to make it easier for people to order online. In 2006, Fao Schwarz was bought by a 360 group from Toys R Us Inc. for an undisclosed amount. Toys R Us saw little success leading up to September 18, 2017, when they filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy to deal with a $5 billion debt, saying that the bankruptcy only affects the stores in the USA and Canada. This meant it would not affect the 73 stores in Africa, the 481 stores in Asia, the 45 stores in Australia, or the 374 stores in Europe that are operated as separate entities. It had become apparent that the company had not seen an annual profit since 2013 and reported a net loss of $164 million in the quarter ending in April of 2017. It had lost $126 million in the same period of the year before. By January of 2018, the company announced it would liquidate and close up to 182 stores as part of the restructuring and convert 12 stores into co-branded Toys R Us and Babies R Us stores. On February 28, 2018, Toys R Us UK went into administration, and by March 14, 2018, it was announced that all UK stores were expected to close within 6 weeks. On March 14th, after 70 years of business, Toys R Us announced to its employees that it would sell or close all of its around 800 Toys R Us and Babies R Us stores in the United States, meaning the loss of jobs for 31,000 employees. The store that had become an iconic brand around the world with the unforgettable "I'm a Toys R Us kid" jingle will become a memory for those who grew up with its commercials, catalogs, and shopping experiences.
I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid.
There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with.
I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid.
They've got the best for so much less, you really flip your lid.
From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is.